New movie came out. I'm here to review it. It's called Prey. It's in the Predator series. I'm pretty sure it's a prequel to the original. For those who don't know, the original was with Arnold. Very interesting movie overall. I feel like, so here's some context. There's different Predators, so this one's different from the one in the 80s, and that's the main thing around this. I haven't seen any of the other Predators, so I don't really know the whole elusive history between the Predator and anything like that. I haven't seen Predator versus Alien, anything like that. This is my first movie of seeing it. I might go watch the other ones, but let's start this journey into this movie. This movie is very good in my opinion. So it starts out a long time ago. That's pretty much the main thing. I feel like that's the main thing. You can really tell. And I like movies set in certain periods just because it gives you a context kind of how they're living. At least it's kind of like historically accurate. Like not like, obviously Predator didn't exist, but like kind of I guess how they lived. Naru wakes up. She's a main character and she's collecting all these flowers, which are very important later on in the movie. She's throwing axes everywhere. She's pretty much trying to hunt, and there's some later stuff that goes on with that. And she actually is ready to kill this deer, but then the deer like runs off, which very unexpected. I was kind of surprised when that happened. I thought it was a predator at first, but we don't know. Naru's dog, let's see, runs after her, which that part was very good. I feel like the dog and her have a very good connection, and the dog's probably one of my favorite characters, to be honest. Naru's dog is hurt by a trap, which later on it goes into who has the trap, but the trap like bites down on the leg and really hurts the dog. Naru sees something in the sky, which later on actually I think might be something to do with the predator. Teeb, Naru's brother, kills an eagle. Naru is ready for a hunting trip, which that's pretty much the main thing that's going on. I don't want to get the pronunciations wrong of what they were saying, but some sort of hunting trip, and that's what she really wants to do. And it says it takes place in the Great Plains in 1719. The war chief is sick, that's the main thing as well after that. Actually, Naru wants to prove a lot of people wrong, because a lot of people don't think she can hunt just because she's a woman, and that's the main thing that's going on. Really proving a lot of people wrong and proving doubters wrong. I feel like that's a good message to have. And when you prove someone wrong like that, it's a very good feeling. And a ship flies by with technology they've probably never seen if they would have saw it. And it actually turns invisible. The predator is invisible. Naru collects the flowers with the dog again. Very interesting so far. The predator starts clicking, which that's really just the main like calling card of how he's around. He actually kills a snake and like takes his blood and pretty much skins it. That's the main thing that's going on pretty much. And they're still tracking, and says the other people there said that she should be cooking, and they say that very rudely and really just doubt her just because she's a woman. And they're tracking to see a mountain lion, which they refer to a lion because I don't think they really knew the difference between the two. Obviously, they're not in sub-Saharan Africa, so if it was called a lion somehow, they wouldn't know the difference. And someone's actually found hurt with ones of scratches from the mountain lion, and with a lot of cuts across the chest. That's pretty much the main thing. They give him medicine, which it kind of works. They go back and Naru sees some other body parts of different animals, and Teeb actually thinks it's a bear or a lion, whatever it is. Teeb agrees, and they try to pretty much bait it in. And she pretty much wants us to make this her hunt, so that was pretty much the interesting part of that. And Teeb actually puts blood everywhere to really, I guess, really trap it, like really make a trap out of it. Someone's actually attacked by the mountain lion, and it really doesn't go that good. Naru is backing away from the lion, and Naru's actually knocked into, after falling into a tree. Someone falls out of a tree, very interesting. Naru wakes up and Teeb goes after the lion, which she falls out of the tree, knocks herself out, and Teeb has to really go kill the lion, and he brings back the lion's head and pretty much becomes the war chief. and everyone celebrates him. Naru's shocked, and she really wanted to become the war chief, but obviously before they don't. A lot of the people who are also hunting, a lot of the other teenaged, I guess early 20s people really doubt her just because she's a woman. That's been the main thing overall. A lot of themes of like them being against her because of that, and very interesting. This is a very good movie overall. Naru actually like realizes that the lion wasn't the thing that really did everything. It was something else. So she walks off to find the predator, and Naru's actually training for the predator. She doesn't really know exactly what it's doing. Naru's trying to find tracks, different things like that. She says it's not a bear or anything she's ever seen before. The predator sprays and actually sprayed something on the wolf and like it was very weird. It like scolified the wolf and like made it a trophy. Naru sees the skinned animals everywhere. Naru's trapped in some sort of mud, and this is actually very important later on in the show. The axe, she actually throws the axe but then it doesn't work, but then eventually it does. Naru's dog runs away, and Naru sees the predator and is pretty much flowing down the stream. The predator attacks the bear and wins by punching, which after she floats on the river, Naru runs from people from her village, or tribe actually. Naru talks about the bear and it getting killed, which they really doubt her about this, and that's the main thing. Naru's attacked. The predator is using thermal to track them, which he doesn't think they're a threat, so that's why he was really not doing anything. That's later proved as well. The predator has a beam on them, and actually it kills some of them because like a red dot appears above them, which they won't even know what a laser is really. So the others are trying to fight the predator. He kills all of them, which the predator is just absolutely ruthless in the movie. The gore in this movie is absolutely insane. His fighting and technique is very good as well. Naru had an axe and pretty much just fighting the predator with it, and they actually tie her up actually at that point, so she has to find a way to get out. And after this, her and her brother actually get kidnapped by these like French trappers, and they pretty much like hit her over the head with a gun, and she wakes up in a cage in a camp and then recognizes her brother from across a thing. They're surrounded by her, and then some guy like comes over and like tries to translate, and they're asking about where the predator is. Some reason they want to like use him as a weapon, or I don't know. Naru and Teeb are actually tied to a tree for bait, and they get sad after seeing each other, and after they use as bait, the predator pretty much just kills everyone, and shape-shifting and doing a lot of other things, and they really don't stand a chance. The predator steps on one of the traps, and Naru asks if he can be killed, and Teeb says yes, the predator can be killed. So pretty much she has the trap set up on the trap's underneath them in case they leave, and she put the rope in it so it would eat the trap and eat the rope, and it overall worked, which in my opinion I was kind of surprised it worked that fast, but sometimes things work like that in movies. And they seem more confident of killing the predator because it was bleeding, so that's the main thing. And this movie, the French trappers are still trying to attack the predator, which really does nothing. I feel like it just makes him more angry and really doesn't do a thing. So pretty much he pretty much sets up a bomb and kills them all, and they already escaped because they use that rope method. And Teeb actually goes to find some horses, and one of the French guys actually tries to kill the dog, Naru's dog, and she stops him. And later on, there's another guy she actually does. Naru has pointed at her and he wants the medication, so pretty much he wants medication. Naru helps the Frenchman, and the predator's at the camp. It kills him, and he pretty much schemed. So pretty much she gives him like these flowers like from earlier where it lowers the body temperature, but then he screamed when he stepped on him, so that's why he killed him. Teeb gets a horse and knocks the predator's helmet off, which seems like the helmet's kind of more like a face covering. I'm not really exactly sure how that works in the lore of the Predator franchise, but he pretty much ducks over everything he's shooting on, pretty much all these arrows, and Teeb had a very good chance of actually winning against the Predator. This is a very good movie in my opinion. I would definitely recommend you watch it, and I need to check out the rest of the movies with the Predator. Then she stabs him with a spear. Teeb actually stabs him with a spear. Teeb actually sacrifices himself and dies because he realizes he's a threat. I think he definitely probably could have killed the Predator. Teeb gets his one final hit in and at the end, but then he's already dead. Naru attacks the Frenchman who hit Teeb and actually like stabbed him to pretty much give up where the Predator up and make Naru really pressurized into telling him where the Predator's at. And she cuts his leg off and puts rats to eat his leg, which was very graphic overall. And if you don't want to see any of this stuff, I recommend you skip some of these parts because I don't think it's not like overly gory or anything like that, but there are some scenes where I would say some people might be like, oh, like not really like that. And she gives him some stuff for the lower body heat thing, and she uses the Predator to pretty much kill him, which the Predator finally notices him and pretty much attacks him. Which the other thing about the Predator is it senses by body heat rather than vision, which his vision, like when he was looking straight at people, really wasn't that good and was very faulty. So Naru has a gun and actually shoots him, and she actually attacks him. Naru lures the Predator with a foot, and she waiting for him to attack. Naru actually runs into and tries to trap him, and pretty much cuts his arm off, which is very impressive. Predator is supposed to be a very good warrior overall, and she pretty much dominates him in this fight, and the fight's epic overall. Cutting off his arm is very impressive. The Predator is pinned, and she stabs him in the eye and puts him in a trap, which he pretty much like falls in this trap, but he tries to get out of it, but then eventually she kills him with a weapon, and his own weapon, and that's how he pretty much dies, which is very interesting overall. And after this, she takes pretty much his head and presents it to the other chief, and she becomes war chief, which I definitely do like this movie overall. I would give this a 9.3 out of 10. Very good movie overall. And I would give the action scenes a 9.5. And Naru is probably the best character. I'll probably only do one or two. Teeb, those are probably the main. Naru and Teeb are probably the main protagonists throughout the whole movie. I would give Teeb probably 9.6 out of 10. Naru probably 9.8 out of 10. Very good characters overall. Oh, I actually forgot to mention the mom. So the mom in the show at the end realizes Teeb died and is very sad at the end, of course, but I actually forgot to mention her. Sorry about that. And this is probably gonna be the end of the video. Are you gonna be checking out? It's on Hulu right now if you want to watch it. I don't think it's gonna release to any theaters or anything like that, but I'll definitely watch it if you do have Hulu. Get Hulu if you don't have it, but you should watch this movie.